Hi, welcome everyone. I am Dr. Todd Fonts, and this is Con 151, Construction Materials and Methods, overview of Spring 2021 semester. So a little bit about me before we talk about the class. My background is engineering, civil engineering in particular. I got my bachelor's degree at University of Colorado Boulder. I had an emphasis in structural engineering, and I went in and I designed shoring, formwork, and access scaffolding. These are examples of projects that I would work on. This is forming. What forming is, we'll talk more about this during the semester, but forming is holding the concrete in place. What I did is design these temporary structures, so they hold the concrete while it hardens, and then they're removed. This would be an example of shoring. What shoring is holding the concrete. Same idea, only in a vertical context. So it's like, this is a flying table. So the way these would work is they'd fly into a level, pour the concrete, and then it drops out. Fly it up to the next level with a crane, and keep going and working your way up the building like that. The third thing that I worked on was access scaffolding, so scaffolding for high rises, usually around the Denver area, but throughout Colorado. So I did that for probably like 5 years or so before I decided to go back to school and get a master's in physics education from the University of Colorado Denver, because I wanted to teach. I wanted that personal connection with people, teach other people things about what I knew, right? So I became a science teacher, taught physics and chemistry at a place called the Alexander Dawson School in Lafayette, Colorado. I did that for about 4 years before deciding I wanted to do it on a higher level. So I returned to school, to Colorado State University of all places, and I got a PhD in engineering education. I did that after I finished my PhD here at CSU. I got a job at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, where I was teaching industrial technology and tech ed. Did that for about 4 or 5 years before going to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, where I worked in a College of Engineering teaching civil and mechanical engineering courses. And here I am. It took me a long time, 10 years since I left Colorado, and I finally made it back. This last fall was my first semester. This is my second semester here at CSU. Second semester teaching this course. So I don't know. Hopefully I can give you some insight on what this class is like. So I'd love to know more about you guys. That's the one big disadvantage of this online format, is I don't get to meet all of the students. So that's the one thing that I am missing about this experience, but we can do. Hopefully I'll be able to meet some of you during office hours or remotely or whatever else. Maybe in the fall, we'll cross paths for those who go on and take 251. I tend to teach that. At least I have the last 2 semesters. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Let's talk about the class. This is Con 151, Construction Materials and Methods. There is a lot of information. Textbook, which we'll talk about in a bit, is really thick, big textbook, because there's so much information. And it covers everything. Steel, concrete, earthwork, everything. And because there's only so much time in this semester, it's this big, wide breadth of information, but not too deep in any one particular topic. So for instance, for concrete, we cover that really in great depth, but that means we're covering it in, I think we have 5 class sessions, versus for me, when I got my undergrad degree, I had 2 classes just on concrete. So from 2 classes down to two semesters, right? A whole year of studying concrete versus just a couple classes. So that's what I mean by we touch on the major bits and pieces of this content, but not into the great depth you might get if we were covering it for a complete class. Construction terminology and basics are really what this class is about. That's more important than math or problem solving. So, for instance, we talk about cut and fill, where you are moving earth from one area to another to make it all level grade. And instead of actually calculating the cubic volume, which you might do in industry, on how much you cut and versus how much you fill to figure out how much earth you need to either import or export to make the land graded the way you need it, instead of that, we'll just talk about concepts of what it is to actually use this idea of cut and fill. So that's just an example of how, instead of the problem-solving aspects, we'll just be talking about terminology basics, what's going on. There'll be some problem solving, but the math is not overly difficult, So we have considerations for both strength of the materials and also the aesthetics of materials. So hopefully this will help the IAD students, probably more with the aesthetic sides, but also the basic backgrounds, as well as the CM majors, especially moving forward for classes like 251 or for the structures classes, things like that. So looking at the evolution of this class in 2020 spring, so this time last year, it was 100% face-to-face because it was pre-COVID, right? And then partway through the semester, they had to move to the online like so many other places. This last fall, my first semester teaching, we moved on to a hybrid type of structure where what we were doing is we would have some students would meet on Monday, some would meet on Wednesday, some would meet on Friday. Some of you are doing this probably now in other classes, right? And then everything else was just recorded. This semester, what we're doing is we're completely online, as I'm sure you've seen. It is listed as synchronous, but what it really means, my intention of this class was just, I didn't want to be a total void, right, where all you do is watch videos, submit homework, do quizzes, and never actually have the opportunity to interact as much, right? So because of that, what we decided would be best is to make it 1 day a week, Mondays at 12 p.m. to 12:50. We'll log in. I'll probably do it via Zoom. I might do it Teams, but I think I'm going to do a Zoom meeting with everyone, and we'll go over the week. So it's basically just an overview. It probably won't take the full 50 minutes. It'll just be, hey, how's everyone doing? What do you need? This is a review of the quiz from the previous week. This is what we're covering this coming week. Try and get any kind of opportunities for discussion, questions, complaints, anything like that. This will be a recorded session each week, so if you can't make it for some reason, you won't be totally in the dark. You can watch the recorded video later. However, I really do encourage you to attend these meetings. I'm not going to take attendance or anything, but just that way you can you can get more insight into the class and actually ask questions, get more out of it, right? This week, of course, Monday falls on Martin Luther King, so technically classes don't start until Tuesday. So this video is going to have to count for our weekly meeting. But it's more of an introductory type thing anyways. In general, the content will follow a classic Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. So if you go to Canvas, if you've been to Canvas yet, you'll see that it's laid out like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Each day will have its own separate content. So we're still following along the same lines of having a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. However, I hopefully will, if I have my act together, get everything posted ahead of time. So if you want to work ahead, watch videos ahead, if you have extra time, you can do that as well. Hopefully you're not waiting until Sunday night to try and cram in the whole week's worth of material. So where do we find stuff? A little tour of Canvas. So the Canvas, if you haven't been there yet, I know that all Canvas courses are slightly different. It's I came from a Blackboard environment. I really prefer Blackboard over Canvas if you've dealt with Blackboard, but you do what you can do. So the key to Canvas is going to be the modules. I don't have anything actually posted quite yet. By the time this video airs, I'll have week 1 posted. I have, as you can see, most of it loaded in there. It just isn't quite fine-tuned yet. But you'll be able to find things like the course intro will have this video, this syllabus, and we'll have an overview of the syllabus. We'll talk more about the syllabus in just a bit. And then the weeks will have the dates. I'll have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like I said. And when you click on each day, you'll be able to see things like learning objectives and the materials, the PowerPoint slides. the recorded video I'll have for each section, any extra resources that I might have. So you should be able to figure your way through it pretty easily. See how it aligns with the book chapters, things like that, right? So what else is important on here? When it comes to assignments, you could find your assignments in here, your different homeworks. We don't have any quizzes yet, but exams will be in here. It'll be linked up, but I think the key is in modules. So right in the modules, every week we'll have everything you need. If there's an exam that week, there'll be, where's exam 1? Do I not have exam 1? There's exam 1. So I'll have it linked right there, right? So as long as you're in the modules, it'll be okay. Yeah, so that's Canvas. I'm sure you've seen it before. You've had it in other classes, things like that, right? As far as the videos, I plan on having everything available on YouTube. I just think it's an easy format. It'll still be on Canvas, so you can go to Canvas and just watch all the videos. But if you were to go to one of those links, you'd see it brings you to a YouTube video, right? So if you wanted to, you could go directly to my YouTube channel. And now I do have previous classes on here, meaning I have when I taught statics and strength of materials at Ohio University. If you want to learn about those, you can. But otherwise, what this is 151. So you can see the playlist. Now you don't have to do this. This is just if you want to search through YouTube without going through Canvas. This is where everything's located. If you really want to work ahead, you can sit there and watch a whole semester's worth of videos if you want, right? So this is all up there, and it'll be added to it. This is where I'll put our weekly meeting and everything else right here on here as well. So everything can be found on my YouTube channel. Of course, it'll be linked through these modules. So like, for example, our first video, you'll see that what you could do is just hit play here, and you can play it within the module itself, or you could maximize it and go full screen. Now you're still within the module. You could click on YouTube and watch it on YouTube. So many options. Your head is spinning, right? But should work. All right. Well, yep. In this video, very embarrassing watching myself. If you ever had to do that, ugh. So that's a little bit on where to find things on Canvas and YouTube. Canvas, go to modules. That's your key. Let's move on to the syllabus itself. This is posted on Canvas. You can take a look at that. Once again, I'm Dr. Fonts. Pronunciation, everyone calls me Fance or France or Fontes, all sorts of different things. But F-O-N-T-S, I think, is the easiest pronunciation way. So we'll see in person. You probably won't mess that up too much, right? My office is 107A Guggenheim, so there is a classroom 107. If you were to go through the classroom, there's a door in the back of that classroom. You have to go through that door to get to my office. The better option is actually going to the back of the building. All right, so I pulled up a picture of where you can get to my office instead of going through 107. This is like looking from the Oval towards Guggenheim. This door right there, the one circled in red, is actually my office door. So yeah, so you can come there and knock as well, right? Now I don't know how much I'm working from my office with COVID and everything, but hopefully I'll be there during office hours, 11 to 12:30, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I can definitely meet you there. Of course, it'd be mask to mask, at least at this point. I actually don't even know my phone number. I don't recommend you call my phone, even if I did know my phone number, my office phone, because it's just the worst way to communicate with me, right? I think the best way is via email. So just todd.fonts@colostate.edu. You could hit me up on Microsoft Teams if you're used to using that platform. Just type in my name on Teams, search for it, and you can shoot me a message, communicate that way, or whatever else. So yeah, so those are my dedicated office hours. I just realized my dedicated office hours goes right through our class on Monday by half an hour, so this is not my dedicated office hours. Probably be a little bit before then, right? But whenever, just shoot me an email. I'm always available. So like I said earlier, this is our textbook. It's a big honking thing. 9th edition by Simmons. There's the ISBN number. However, I would like to point out that if you don't want to buy the textbook, you definitely don't have to buy the textbook. First off, it's I'm not going to really, anything on an exam or a quiz is going to be something we cover in class. It's not going to be like strictly based on reading. I'm going to make sure it's probably both in the book and in class, right? It's pretty important stuff. However, also, you can get a copy of this book for free if you were to go to our library. There's a link. You can explore. You can search for whatever. Search for this Olin's construction. Once it comes up, you can click on one of these guys, and the key is right here. You can view online, and I would go to this ebooks. You have to log in with your credentials, and then you can just click read online, and you can see everything's there. Now, some people may not like reading online. I don't blame you on that. It's a little more cumbersome, but still a resource you can use as well. I don't know if this is searchable. If it's searchable, it'd be even better, right? Because you could search for keywords and things. But regardless, that is the textbook. You can get it, wherever you want, or you can read it online through the library. Your choice. As far as grading for this course, there are 4 homework assignments for a total of 15% of your final grade. There are, 10 quizzes will be graded for 15% of your grade. There's actually 11 quizzes total, so you could miss one or you could bomb one or whatever else. There are 3 exams worth 45%, so each exam is worth 15% of your grade. I'm sure you could do that math yourself. And there's one final at 25% of your grade, bringing the total up to 100%. Now, we don't use the plus-minus system in construction management, so if 90 and above is the A, 80 to 90 B, C, D, so on and so forth. So, like I said, with these quizzes, there are 11 of them. Only the top 10 will count towards the final grade. The way the quizzes will work, it's a weekly quiz. So unless we have an exam that week, there'll be a quiz. First one being this Friday. They're posted every Friday. They'll probably be posted before that. It'll probably be posted Thursday or whenever the grader gets them written. But definitely by Friday morning. They're due Sunday by midnight. So you can take it whenever you want. There is no time limit. If any questions are vague or unclear, shoot me an email. Usually I can respond to you while you're still in the middle of a quiz. They're multiple choice. More than likely, they are going to be 100% multiple choice, but there might be some fill in the blank. They will be on Canvas, linked right on there. Questions through Canvas. If you've done a Canvas quiz, they're pretty user friendly. Quizzes are open notes, open book. The only thing you can't do is search the whole World Wide Web for answers or collaborate with others in the class. And it's actually going to be the same format as quizzes for exams. The dates of the exams are posted on the syllabus. They are open for a number of days, 3 days, and you can take the choice on when to start the exam. So looking at our syllabus, I see exam 1 opens 2/17, closes 2/19. So that means you'd have any time that Wednesday, that Thursday, or 2/19 is Friday, any of those 3 days to take the exam, right? But once you start the exam, you only have 50 minutes to complete the exam. So find a time, and we'll go over this more for exam 1 review, but find a quiet space and time where you can have an hour or so to take the exam. Just like the quizzes, multiple choice, fill in the blank. Also just like the quizzes, open note and book, but you can't use the internet to search for answers. So it's not a memorization class. It's really almost impossible to do that in an online format, because they have eye tracking software and things, but I'm not going to get into all that stuff. Instead, it'll be more of a there'll be more conceptual type questions, right? So looking ahead to the first 5 weeks, you can see we're going to cover some general requirements. It's like contracts and just what does the construction industry look like. Then we'll move into earthwork, concrete. Hopefully, I haven't officially got a confirmation, but hopefully we'll have some guest lectures in here. Our first one will happen, I hope, on February 10th. I might have to be flexible with that. But you can see how much time we're spending on concrete, because it is a big topic, right? Then for that exam 1, like we just said, we have a review day in here, followed by the exam 1 we have multiple days. Quizzes, you can see there every Friday. So quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, quiz 4. And then the homeworks will be posted in here. And homework 1 is due, 2 weeks after it's posted, it looks like. And homework 2 is posted. We have that due a while later. So that's what our first 5 weeks looks like. Hopefully that made sense. Shoot me an email if it didn't, or if you have any questions. What you need to do to get started on this class is go ahead and start watching those videos under week 1. I have read-ish under sections 1.1, 1.9, 200, 2.1. The reason I have that is because it's not, like I said, I think the reading should be supplemental to the lectures. I do think it's a good resource. Depends on your learning style. Some people learn much better by reading. The material in here should correlate directly with the book. So it's definitely beneficial, but it's a lot of material. So don't get overwhelmed. If you start reading things that sound really unfamiliar, we didn't cover it in class, it's good background knowledge, but it won't be part of the requirements for this class. And then don't forget to take quiz 1 by Sunday the 24th, right, by midnight. So that's it. Hope we have a wonderful semester, and I look forward to it. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.